How's it going, guys? This is Patrick from Nintendo Talk, and today we are actually going to be starting a brand new video series called Community Questions. Now, Community Questions is going to be a video series that has pretty much one topic per video, and I'm going to be giving my input, and you guys are also going to be giving your input, as well as some special guests. And I'll try to get like some different people in here, get some different opinions about stuff, but this first episode is going to be about the first 5 months with this bad boy, the Nintendo Switch, obviously, and pretty much my opinions and some of my, pros and cons, no pun intended. And yeah, we're just going to be talking about it, and then later we'll get some other people's views on it. So before I do that, I actually put a poll on Twitter asking you guys, how would you grade the Nintendo Switch through the first 5 months so far? And this is what you said. Pretty much all of you guys, or most of you, pretty much about half, I would say, really looks like you're really digging the Switch. 53% said A. You would give the Switch an A, and then B, some C, and no one said D, which is, I think, a fair thing. I don't think the Switch is doing poorly at all. But if I had to answer that question myself, it would probably be a B and pretty much a mid to low B. I think that there is a lot that Nintendo has done right for the Switch, but there's also a lot that they could be doing better at. So I'm going to break it down in 3 categories. The first one being the hardware, and this little machine does a lot, and you can play it in a multiple different amount of ways. You can play it handheld, you can play it on the TV, obviously, as a much more traditional console, or you could play it tabletop mode, which is something that I've been having a lot of fun with, and I didn't really think that that would be something that I would enjoy, but it turns out that's one of my favorite modes to play. As far as accessories, I really haven't gone too crazy. My favorite accessory has been this bad guy right here, something that I really do recommend to people. The Pro Controller is definitely the way to play, although I am a fan of the Joy-Cons and the Joy-Con grip. And for those of you who are wondering, do I need a Pro Controller? You really don't. I mean, the grip serves fine, but this guy right here is what I have been using and, my preferred method. Definitely think it's worth the money. It's a little steep on price, which is one of my faults with the Switch. The accessories are really, in my eyes, not overpriced, but really, highly priced for what you're getting. So I have bought some other accessories like the play stand, because I do play a lot in tabletop mode, and the Joy-Con wheel grip, which the kind that I got wasn't that great, but I could see why people would get them. But overall, the hardware is pretty good. Games run very smoothly. There was like an initial kind of bug with Zelda, but they patched that out. So a lot of the games run great, and they look great as well. I don't really see the Switch being an inferior product to something like, say, the PS4 or something. And obviously Nintendo, recent years, hasn't been the leader in graphics, but definitely this machine is, serves its purpose. The next subject I want to talk about is the games, and that's probably the most important thing to talk about. We've gotten all sorts of games, and it's really been a mixed bag so far through the first 5 months. Of course, we started out with Zelda, which is this big console-selling game, and I've really enjoyed Zelda a lot. Could be my favorite game of all time. I think we've passed that threshold where I can kind of say that with confidence. I really didn't want to say that too early. I didn't want to seem like I didn't know what I was talking about, but the game is great. The game just runs great, looks great. The story's great. I really can't say anything bad about that game. And then later on, we got a port, pretty much, a deluxe version of Mario Kart, which I think is a fantastic game. And, I kind of knew that some of the Wii U titles would kind of spill over to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, that was just kind of obvious. Not a lot of people got to experience those games that the Switch had. So I wasn't really too surprised when Mario Kart 8 got announced. And they did, improve some things. The 2-item thing makes this game a whole different game. And also the battle mode is fantastic. And I still think that the battle mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably the best multiplayer experience still on the Nintendo Switch. And then we got something, a brand new IP from Nintendo in ARMS, and I really do enjoy ARMS. It's a competitive game, but it's also a pick up and play game. Not as easy as playing like Wii Bowling, but it's definitely a game that anyone can pick up. And depending on how much you play the game or how seriously you want to take it, you can actually get really competitive, which I really like about that game. So ARMS, thumbs up for that game. And the game that just came out that I've been playing a ton of is Splatoon 2. Really is the only shooting multiplayer game on the Switch right now, which is not really a big surprise. I wasn't too surprised to see Splatoon 2 coming out so early in the life of the Switch. I think it's a pretty safe title for Nintendo. Going forward, we have bigger titles like Mario Rabbids to look forward to. Of course, Mario Odyssey is a game that could be in the running with Zelda for Game of the Year. We also have Xenoblade 2, which is a game that I feel like not enough people talk about. And then, of course, 2018, we have a lot of promise with games that may or may not come out, but still look fantastic. So overall, for me, it's kind of a mixed bag with the Switch. I think that it's a great console. So far, we've gotten a lot to, look forward to. And in terms of the console itself, I think it's really solid, and it's what the Wii U should have been. Through the first 5 months, if I had to give this a grade, like I said before, it would probably be like a B minus, just because we haven't got things like Virtual Console or third-party support, which I think will come eventually with a bigger install base. But so far, I've liked what I've seen, and I really think that Nintendo is putting their best foot forward. Marketing, I think, has been an A+ with big ads and the Super Bowl and things like that. So I really think this is kind of a new Nintendo, a new era of Nintendo, and I'm just really excited. Now, I'm going to hand it off to three really, really cool guys, and before I do, I just want to say thank you so much. Basically, what I did was I kind of messaged them on Twitter and said, hey guys, do you want to be in a video? Oh, by the way, you have like 4 or 5 days. So I'm just really thankful that they accepted, and here are their parts now, and here's what they think about the Switch 5 months later.
What is up, everybody? Bobby here, Nintendo Guru, and my boy Patrick here, he came to me and he was like, hey Bobby, I'm just curious, what is your feeling on the Switch? What have you enjoyed about it so far? All that stuff. So I just wanted to kind of break it down real quick and just explain, like, here's what has moved me and made me enjoy the Switch thus far since the launch. We're about 6 months out. I think the ultimate thing is when we first saw the reveal, Nintendo basically was like, here's a proof of concept. This is what we're hoping this thing will be. A console you can play at home, you can take on the go, you can play anywhere in your house. You don't have to be locked in the couch, on the TV, any of that. Like, you can take it and do whatever you want to do with it. And that proof of concept, for me, has proven to be perfect. It has worked seamlessly, no issues whatsoever. I love it. I can do one of two things. I can either just chill out on the couch, play on my 4K TV, and just enjoy the Switch as it is, or, you know what, I could go to work, take it with me, not lose my place at all. When you have games like Zelda that are these massive games, like I dropped about 120 hours into this game, when you're looking at games like that are stylistic and just collectathons and so much detail, and you just want to cherish that time and spend as much time as you can with that, but you also don't want to lose place and lose track of where you are or what you're doing. So the ability to play at home and then take it on the go just keeps that seamless, timeless tradition of gaming just flowing. It doesn't have to be stuck in one spot or the other. So to me, that's number one. That's right off the top. Then you go right into the games, and we're looking at potentially not only the game of the year with Zelda Breath of the Wild, probably one of the best games of all time. Like, they took the open world genre and flipped it on its ear and just was like, you think this is what it is? This is what the future's going to be. Everybody will now do things that we did in this game and do them to perfection. You take an open world game with hardly any glitches whatsoever. Unheard of in this day and age. Like, normally when an open world game hits, there's glitches through the roof. You got this gigantic day one patch to try to fix that stuff. None of that. You got the game. There was a patch day one. It wasn't gigantic. It was small. There was some frame rate issues that after about 2 weeks, Nintendo put a small patch out again, and boom, it fixed it. So it's just amazing to see what they were able to accomplish with this game. You flow into, the other games like Mario Kart 8 and then Splatoon 2, the game that I think shocked a lot of people that came out of the wheelhouse, ARMS. Like, all these games, we're getting a major release every single month. That is unheard of from many gaming companies, especially AAA gaming companies. So to think that here's a game company the caliber of Nintendo putting out quality games every single month, month after month after month, is just amazing, honestly. So one of the things that I've enjoyed, just a couple other games I wanted to spotlight and talk about real quick before I wrap this up. I Am Setsuna. Enjoy this game so much. It takes you back to the Square Enix, Squaresoft days, when you had like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana, these pixel art RPGs, just phenomenal. Can't wait for more out of Square, and I think it's Tokyo RPG company. Just amazing stuff they're doing. Minecraft, you can't go wrong with Minecraft. This game is so much fun. It's a lot of fun to spend time with your friends, just hanging out, playing together, enjoying the world, doing all this stuff. Shantae Half Genie Hero, another really solid game. Love it. You can't go without getting Shovel Knight. Treasure Trove is the one I got. It has everything in there. But it's such a phenomenal game. It belongs on the Switch. Again, just amazing. So for me, I'm happy with where Nintendo's going. I'm happy with what they've done. So that is all for me. Thanks for asking me, Patrick.
Hello out there to the Nintendo Talk audience, and of course, hello to Patrick of Nintendo Talk. What is up, everybody? My name is Rob. I run the YouTube channel known as Rule of Two Review. I'm here today to talk to you guys, per Patrick's request, to discuss for just a few brief minutes the Nintendo Switch and what these first 5 months of this new console has been and what my personal thoughts and feelings are so far. So, the Switch. We've already had a brand new Nintendo console in our homes and in our hands for 5 months. Pretty effing cool. So what do I think of it so far? Honestly, it's great. It's an impressive machine that's a lot of fun in a lot of the different ways that we can game on it. I think the thing that really caught me by surprise was how fun and unique the console handheld mashup idea really turned out to be. On paper, the idea is cool, sure. But it doesn't really sound like a game changer or sound like a fascinating idea. But in my opinion, it actually did turn out to be pretty much that. Now, if I'm being honest with you guys and myself, not everything is sunshine and rainbows in the Switch world. There are some things that are real problems. Again, Nintendo chose not to focus on game-changing graphics. The third-party support isn't really impressive or instilling any real confidence. And the online situation, Lordy, is that ever a hot flippin' mess. But truthfully, I find the ability to game on my TV or on the go, in my hand, absolutely fascinating, and I think that it more than makes up for a lot of those issues. The device is so slick and so cool that I'm just completely enthralled by it. And then, of course, there's the games. Splatoon, Mario Kart, ARMS, freaking ZELDA, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Skyrim, Mario plus Rabbids, a ton of indies, Super Mario Odyssey, and oh my god, Metroid Prime flipping 4. All of this goodness is coming, yeah. The Switch is in pretty great shape. So basically, sure, there are some kinks to be worked out, and they are kinks that I really feel can't continue for too much longer. But aside from that, I find it to be a super sleek and super fun little gaming device that has a really strong library of games to start off this first year. As a Nintendo fan and a die-hard gamer, I cannot get enough of the Switch. So that's kind of my quick summary of the Nintendo Switch and how I feel after the first 5 months. Again, I, like a lot of you, probably still can't even believe we live in a world where we've had a brand new Nintendo console already on the market for 5 months. And then the Switch itself and all of the unique things that I talked about and everyone else on this video and Patrick, of course, himself have talked about. make it pretty awesome. It's a really good time to be a Nintendo fan and a Nintendo gamer. And I have to say, of course, one more time, thank you to Patrick for inviting me to be on this video. Patrick and Nintendo Talk, awesome brand new channel. I've really enjoyed watching the channel grow in these first couple of months. I think Patrick makes great stuff, so hopefully all of you guys out there are enjoying the channel. And of course, if you do feel like also checking my channel out, if you're not already familiar, again, it's called Rule of Two Review. This is Rob one more time, guys, and thanks so much for listening to me chat to you about how awesome I think the Nintendo Switch is.
Hey everyone, I'm Joel. I run Nintendo Family Gaming on YouTube. I just want to say thank you to Patrick for asking me to be part of this video. The topic we're going to talk about today is Nintendo Switch 5 months later. What are my thoughts? What are my likes? What are my dislikes? First of all, I can say I really love this console. It was something I didn't even know I wanted. It's awesome how it's portable, how I can just pick it up and bring it with me in my busy day-to-day life. It's awesome because it gives me the ability to play my favorite console games off screen whenever somebody else in my house wants to use the TV. I don't have to disturb them. Also, it's great. I pick it up, bring it to work with me. My lunch breaks, I'm able to sit there and play 30 minutes of Breath of the Wild, or I can play some Splatoon. I can say the Switch has so many games to offer. Some of the ones that I put most of my time into were Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I have 35 hours into that. ARMS, I have 25 hours into that. I also have Legend of Zelda, which I have about 74 hours into so far, and I still haven't even beat the game. Other games I've played on my Switch are NBA Playground. I love it for like a arcade sports title. Mighty Gunvolt is that Mega Man game that everybody wants that Capcom's not making. Also too, I have different fighting games like Street Fighter 2, The Last Challenger, or whatever the game was called. I also have the Neo Geo game, King of Fighters 98. That game's awesome. I used to play that game so much in the arcade at the corner store by my house where I lived growing up. The Switch, the only thing I would say that I would change about it is that I wish it was able to have better internet connectivity. Sometimes I find if I'm in the basement that it's really hard when some of my other consoles don't have an issue with connecting to the internet. That is probably about everything that I would say that I would change about it. Overall, this system is exactly what I needed when I didn't even know I needed it.